All right, welcome back. Now, let me start off by saying that this new age FBA movement, FBA and Proud, in general, the Black Pride resurgence movement is all black men. Let's be clear about that. Ain't no black women out here running around talking about how important and special being FBA is, and she can't wait to find her FBA king. That is a bunch of nonsense. Now, a lot of people will point out and they will say, well, 75% of black women who are married, or what is it, 75, 80%, somewhere in there, they're married to a black man. My question is, how many of them are married? 1 in 4? True or false? So 1 in 4 of them, are 25% of their population is married. And some 75, 80% of those who are married to black men. I'm not impressed. The vast majority of the population is unmarried. What are these unmarried women doing? What are they doing? Out here sleeping around with a whole bunch of men. According to their own admissions, that's how they prefer it. They don't want the married life unless it's with a white man. Okay, and if they marry a black man, they're going to look at it as settling. And they're going to look at any possibility of marrying a white man as leveling up. And they're going to refer to it as leveling up. This is just what it is. And this is what they are trying to tell us that we should just go pick from. Yeah, go pick one of these sisters with a whole bunch of kids by other men and a whole lot of hatred for black men. Okay, they got a special type of hatred, and it's only for black men. That is a fact. I know that sounds like a joke, but that is a fact. They show us a type of hatred and disrespect. More than hatred, probably disrespect is more accurate. That they don't show the people, and they definitely don't show other men, and that's all that matters. It's just right in front of your face. They give white men a higher level of respect. So much so that they themselves can be very young and marry an old, decrepit white man. They do it all the time. So let's get into it. Salute to all the warriors in attendance. There was a news segment that surfaced a couple years ago about how there was a shortage of black male sperm donors. Even Roland Martin jumped in or chimed in on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and share his take, his beep take. He has a guest on here, and he's about to beep tell you about this shortage, this alleged shortage of black male sperm donors. Oh, sorry about that.
Only 1,000 applicants of all races make it through the screening process, which also attributes to the black donor shortage. Less than 2% of black sperm donors are specimens in the nation's 4 largest cryobanks. Dr. Tiffany Jones is a reproductive endocrinology and infertility specialist. She joins us now from Dallas. Tiffany, glad to have you here. I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, you just don't think about. You know, there are people out there, and people just think that, you know, folks, they get pregnant, that they have children, but there are people who actually go to sperm banks. But 2%, so in the nation, 2% of all available sperm donors are black?
Yeah, that's a scary statistic, but it's very true. It's very hard to recruit African American donors, and black women aren't the only women who want to use black donors. And so with
now give me an idea of, do we have a percentage of how many black of the people who go on to sperm banks, how many are black women?
I would say from my patient population, probably at least 40% of them.
So you
40%? Black women are flocking to sperm banks. Did she say 40%? What percent of the United States population do you think is black women? But yet they make up 40% of the women coming in there? That's crazy. Think about that. Where do y'all think all these biracial children, or at least some of them, where do you think they've been coming from? A lot of them coming from these sperm banks. Now, I want to ask y'all a question. Do y'all really think these black women go into these sperm banks, and as soon as they walk in there, they say, I want a black male donor? I don't think that's how it happens. I believe they ask them, you know, the staff or doctors, whatever. They ask them, what type of donor are you looking for? Now, just think about it. Imagine that question being posed to the whole entire body of black women. What percentage of them do you think would say that they are open to all varieties versus the ones who would specifically say, I'm looking for a black male donor? I believe that the vast majority of them, almost all of them, are going to immediately say, I'm open to all donors. Just like that's always their answer. The answer to that is the same as the interracial dating. I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. They're not going to immediately be like, yeah, I want a black male donor. Please. If they have the option to get a white male donor and to have a biracial child, they're going to take that option. Are you kidding me? Now I want y'all to look at this. Might be an ad. Now, what I'm about to show you is this black woman who went to the sperm bank, and she's one of these black women who claim to have been looking for a black male donor.
She's my rainbow baby. My first pregnancy with my son Komet, I was roughly 25 or 26. I decided to conceive him. I had my heart set on being a mom. So during that time, I would clock in at 4 p.m., not get home until 12:30, almost 1 a.m. sometimes. And I would start searching. I probably had about 3 or 4 sites pulled up on like my laptop, or had about 3.
You see that? What boxes does she have checked? Any. Okay?
or 4 sites pulled up on like my laptop, or I had something pulled up, maybe a Facebook, because Facebook is easy to access off my phone. When initially I started looking and I typed and I had like any race, so many options. There were like pages and pages of donors, and mostly a majority of them were, Caucasian. And then when I limited my search to African American, there was just one page of, just a few on the page.
And those were not even Black American. But by her own admission, she did searches for any first. And then later, and I would assume she did this just to be, curious. She limited it down to Black men only just to be curious, just to see what was there. But this was not her initial option. It was not. It was any, just like she said. But yet, these fools are up here trying to sell this to us.
You got 40% of folks, again, you're paid, 40% are Black women. The availability is 2% Black sperm donors.
Absolutely.
Wow. And you were making the point that women of other races want a Black sperm donor.
Absolutely.
All right, first of all, now how does that work? Meaning
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You do a search, and I've done that search a couple times. You can pull it up. When you do a search, you'll see a numerous number of articles who talked about how Black women were low on options when they go to sperm banks. They have no choice. They're forced. They are so forced to get a white donor, a non-Black donor. Oh, they just don't have any options. They're not looking for no Black donor anyways. They're not. Their true happiness is with non-Black men. That is what truly, truly makes them happy. More specifically, or most specifically, the seed of non-Black men. It's like gold to Black women. It's like life. It's like the elixir of life. The seed of a white man, an Asian man, etc. I mean, aside from their outward display of admiration for those men's genetics, I mean, how can you even deny this? And these Black women with natural hairstyles, again, this is all slave play. It's all slave play. They are not proud of their Blackness or no nonsense like that. They are actually sort of celebrating the fact that their child won't have their hair. They figure, why not? I may as well try to compensate for looking like a coon, for looking like a sellout. And that's another reason why a lot of them do it. They try not to look like a sellout, try to offset that feeling of being a sellout by doing that. And the idea is, why should I care? My daughter is going to have mixed baby's hair. So why not? Now, I've only recently gone to TikTok, and there is indeed a lot of craziness on TikTok. But what I hear a lot is that these are tethers. Tether. But the truth is, A lot of these are Black American women. And that Brad worship exists among Black American women as well.
I'm dating my first white boy, and when I tell y'all, I literally love it here. Like, y'all, I love it here so bad. Bitch, the sex. I'm like, how the fuck do you know my body more than I?
Did you hear what she said?
Like, y'all, I love it.
Well, sorry. This is why I go to this stupid website.
No, because I like my men.
This boy been in my DM say I'm.
Lord, see? This is why I don't like that. I scrolled and it just went to a whole different video. That's why I don't like this. I don't like this website.
I'm dating.
Wait a minute. Give me a second. Did y'all hear what she said? I'm going to play that again.
My first white boy, and when I tell y'all, I literally love it here. Like, y'all, I love it here so bad. Bitch, the sex.
She said, bitch. That's a FBA Keisha. That vile, unnecessary profanity, that come from FBA Hood Rat Keisha culture.
Really love it here.
This is hood rat culture. Where you just, bitch. Blah, 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 blah. So these are not these upper grade, upper echelon Keishas.
Like, y'all, I love it here so bad. Bitch, the sex. I'm like, how the fuck do you know my body more than I know my own body, G? Like, when I tell y'all, that man turned me every which way but loose. And what's so crazy is this boy actually asked me the other day, like, how do you feel when you see white men with black women? And I'm like, I don't give no fuck. Like, I don't, that shit don't concern me.
One reason why I'm showing this is it's for the crowd of FBA men who point out the fact that most black women get with black men. That's the go-to. That's what they point out first. Like, hey, and that's a logical, thing to say. Like, hey, majority of black women go after black American men. But as we all know, most of those relationships are in the lower income poverty level hoods. That's where that's going on. And I'm showing you there's Brad worship there too. It is just as intense there. Yeah, make no mistake about it. They get with black dudes because that's what's around. They're not around white boys. And, in some places like Chicago, you don't even have no white boys around anyways. The school is black, the neighborhoods is black. But the Brad worship is there and strong is everywhere.
White men with black women. I'm like, I don't give no fuck. Like, I don't, that shit don't concern me. But y'all, my white king, I love it here. Sorry. And y'all,
They truly, truly, truly worship Brad. They truly, and this is what these dudes, these FBA podcasters is telling us to get with. And I'm telling y'all, no prideful black man wants to get with no black woman like this. Y'all's, FBA pride, I guess if you want to call it that, is not genuine. It's not genuine if you just accept your women like this. It's childish. It's primitive. You accept black women who worship other men and view to the point of viewing their seed as more valuable. That's insane. No, no. You know, they like to call, oh, well, that's coon talk. No, it's coon talk to accept a white worshiping black woman. That's coonery. That's true coonery. I mean, what do they value? You're dealing with a broken group of women, man. Just you need to face that. They've lost value for marriage, motherhood, fatherhood, health, their racial identity, their own black babies, decency, woman. They've lost value for everything that's valuable. And what do they value? White women's hair, other women's hair. They value degenerates, prison pookie, gangster pookie. They value sleeping around. That goes hand in hand with a loss of value for marriage. To continue that plantation lifestyle. You see, they're out of touch with their history. If they were in touch with their history, they would not continue a plantation lifestyle. Like I said, these black people who avoid dealing with their history through anxiety or whatever, they end up repeating it and feeding into that history that they're trying to avoid. They end up continuing the lifestyle that come from that history. They got a plantation spirit, a Brad worshiping, Massa worshiping, anything but black worshiping. If I get with a black man, he's going to get disrespected every day, all day, belittled, emasculated. He's going to be dogged out. I'm going to treat him the same way Massa treated him, because that's how they saw white men treating black men for years, for generations upon generations. And it shaped the way they look at black men. And they've never gotten out of that mindset. They're still in it today. And again, their true happiness is when they are with Brad or when they have something from Brad on themselves, whether it be Brad's DNA or Brad's child or Ling Ling's child or Lee's child, whoever, just long as they're not black. Look at these goofy things, these goofy phrases that they write on these videos. Look at that. Let's see all the Asians who like black girls in the chat. Really? Is the desperation really that thick? Black girls love Asian men. When I try to bag a cute Asian, but he doesn't like black girls. This comes from No Father, partly. This partly comes from No Father in the Home. Fathers must live in the home, period. None of that making visits, coming by every now and then. Yeah, that might influence you here and there. But a father needs to be a full and complete influence on the home in the exact same way the mother does. Otherwise, she pretty much runs the show and influences you, and you pick up one or two things from your father. Stop minimizing fatherhood when it comes to black men. The energy against black men is truly unbelievable. It's something I can't even put into words, especially, black men as fathers. So, they go to these sperm banks and they look for white sperm. Do y'all know there's been a rise in black women having biracial babies? Where do you think it come from? The multiracial population grew by 276% between 2010 and 2020. And I believe most of it's coming from black women, their swirl movements, and many of those are from these sperm banks. They are dying to get to that man's sperm. There are no other group of women like that. When white men impregnate black women, they're ashamed of it. They're embarrassed. They want to hide it from their family. They not only do they want to hide her, but they definitely would want to hide if they got her pregnant. Like if they knew her, if a white guy's family knew about her and everything, okay, fine, he'd be uncomfortable with that. But if he knocked her up, he would definitely try to hide that. And these brads are ashamed of their biracial kids. Yet, the opposite is true for black women. Why would you be so desperate to go after a group of men who are ashamed to be with you, to be seen with you? It's essentially their culture to avoid you. When they're behind closed doors, they don't talk positively about the idea, about having a black woman have their child. Are you crazy? Do you think they would talk about that behind closed doors with their family? You're not even a subject of discussion, at least not in no positive way. But behind closed doors with a bunch of Keishas, it's going to be church. They're going to talk about, oh yeah, ooh, I can't wait. Oh, that would be a dream come true. When they have biracial kids, when the black women, when they have biracial, they can't wait to show them off to black people, their own family. The opposite is true with Brad. Why would you be after and desperate to go after a group of men? And this is the case with all non-black men. Asian women, for example, I don't mess with Asian women. I mean, some of them are crazy about black dudes, but I don't go after Asian women. I don't pursue them. It's a different thing if they make their, case known and it's convincing. Because they have a culture of avoiding black men, of not being into black men. It's pretty much a culture. You don't hook up with no black man. Yeah? So I wouldn't feel comfortable going after a group of women like that. And I definitely would not see it as some sort of level up to knock them up. That's a mindset I can't wrap my head around. I just can't. Look at this. My white father just told me that he's embarrassed to show pictures to people of my mixed race daughter. That's not uncommon. Anyone else have a white parent that was racist? These are biracial people saying this. Found out my white father is a closet racist. I'm half white, half black, and my white dad is so racist. My husband treats our biracial children differently. He favors the one that looks more white like him. What do I do? You don't say. And we supposed to go after these women? These women not only go after Brads, they go after racist Brads. They are all aware that these men are racist. And they take it, they put up with it. That's true happiness. That shows that they value something when they're putting up with heartache, difficulties to get it. They don't do that with black men. They act like they are not even appreciative to be with us. Just trying to talk to them, they'll be rude and nasty to you. They expect you to act like it's a privilege for you to talk to them. Like you need to prove yourself. Whereas with non-black men, they will jump over obstacles, bend over backwards to get them, be with them, and most definitely have their seed. I said years ago, they don't abort biracial kids. They only abort our kids. Think about that. Think about that. You only want to abort our kids. But you get knocked up by Brad, that baby is protected. You're not going to let nothing happen to that baby. And you know how I know that this is the truth? Look at how they pursue those men's seed. If you're willing to fight for their seed, then that means once you got it, you're going to protect it. You're going to protect it. Where are these FBA certified sisters that good, prideful black men are supposed to hook up with? Where are these certified FBA sisters who at least value being a mother and a wife? Where are the options for quality, hardworking, productive black men who's supposed to be the top echelon of the group? You only have options for pookies. Got these divestors. They have degenerated. They were given the opportunity to build, to have communities based on their ideal of upbringing or pedagogical approach, or however you want to look at it. When the welfare system swept in and hauled so many of them into these different areas that later on became the hood, those are examples of the mother's mind. Those communities are a reflection of the minds of the mothers. And they have simply, like, they become more degenerate, self-hating. That's what it is. You know, like I said before, years ago, you don't really love these certified FBA sisters that y'all brag about so much, or else you wouldn't be able to see them, or you wouldn't be able to tolerate them in this condition. You would urge them to do better and to get better, to seek help, to seek rehabilitation. They're literally out here buying hair. And it's all based on self-hatred. You got a whole economic loss. I mean, their mental deterioration is so bad, it's reflected in their economics, in their financial status. And this is the poorest demographic. They make on average the least in the whole country. Like I said before, black women, when you talk about black American poverty, you've heard it said that the reason why we're unmarried is because of economics, right? That the high single mother rate here in black America is the result of unequal economic opportunities and all this kind of stuff. So you're saying a bunch of us are in poverty. Who's in poverty? Black men are not in poverty. As a collective, no, we're not. Black women are, as a collective. So they're impoverished. Why are they impoverished? Because they're lazy and don't want to work. There's never been anything that has prevented them from getting a job. They simply just didn't want to work. Rather sit at home, collect welfare. That's part of their depression. Their collective depression. It comes from their mental illness. Their lack of motivation. They don't want to work. They rather sit at home, get fat, and have little hustles. Maybe sell clothes they get from Goodwill or some goofy nonsense like that. Lost value for everything. It's so bad that they don't even prepare for their old age. Their loss of value for marriage, like they don't even understand what a husband is really there for. He's to take care of you, so you'll be secure in your old age. These women are dying. Not only are they dying alone, they're dying in poverty. These are old Keishas getting evicted, all because they abandoned black men, abandoned the traditional family. Think back in the days. You got your elderly, your great-grandparents. What are they doing? Taking care of each other. To go and get each other this, get each other that. And they got what? Grandkids? They don't have broken families. They got people there who can help them up if they fall, call the police, the hospital, the ambulance. If something happened, you got security there. They're short-sighted. They think as if life ends at age 50. That's why you see them doing the reach back. Around the late 40s, it starts to hit them. Like, I'm still alone. This swirling thing didn't work. Then they start to reflect on how they should have gotten a black or tried to get a black man. But when they get with us, we're not valued. They don't value us like they value these other men. They're not motivated to make these stupid TikTok videos with black men. Like I pointed out before, they don't make those how to get a white man videos about black men. how to get a black man or nothing like that. They don't treat black men as if they're something special, like they treat these other men like they're special. That is proof of what they value, of what they truly value. It's not you. They look at us as something to maybe have fun with when they're young, but to still disrespect all the while and treat you like you're nothing, like you're less than, it comes from their own self-hatred. They're going to always treat black men the worst because they hate themselves as black women. They don't appreciate the fact that they're black. They share genetics with us, that they resemble us. That's why their beauty standard is an unnatural beauty standard. They try their best to not look like black men's counterpart. But instead, they try to look like they are other men's counterparts. And I've been saying this for over a decade now. Some of you remember I pointed out this same thing on my SBW channel. So the FBA and Proud, listen, I know there's a lot of them. A lot of black men who are down with the FBA movement. They see what's going on. I've seen some of their comments in the comment section. Not all of them are, duped into thinking black women are somehow ain't nothing wrong with them. Because these podcasters, they sweep everything about black women under the rug. Their treasonous behavior, their troubled mentality, mind, body, and soul, their promotion of white supremacy. That's what kills me. You got a lot of these FBA podcasters who preach against white supremacy, but they dare not say nothing about their own women who promote white supremacy. This right here, look, she's promoting Brad. That's Becky's hair. Becky's hair is Brad's hair. That's Becky's look. That's Becky's beauty. That's straight hair, that blonde hair, and that's literally those women's hair. The little goofy eyelashes, through their image, they promote white supremacy. They have a white supremacist beauty standard. Nobody can deny that. They have a white beauty standard. And by saying white, you're saying that they have an Asian, Hispanic, and everything. If it ain't black, it's all the same. It's anti-black. They have an anti-black beauty standard. And they know it and they're proud of it. And it's so bad with them that when you see them in their natural state, those are now some of the biggest Brad worshipers. Some of the biggest Brad worshipers are natural. Yeah, this ain't 1970. See, here you go right here. Like I said, they will oftentimes try to do that to try to make it look like they ain't no sellout. Because they know anything will do the trick with black men nowadays. Try to make it look like, hey, I still know that I'm black and I ain't ashamed. No, you just doing race play. And Brad wants you to look like that because you look more like the slaves that his ancestors dealt with. That's what a lot of these Brads are into, trying to duplicate slavery. And look at this Jeffrey Dahmer looking Brad. And so many of these
Yes, what?
Yes.
so many of these divestors end up with these crazy looking white dudes who end up being racist and white supremacists. And notice, no matter what the Brad looks like, they never have no criticism for him. They truly treat Brad like God. Not just Brad, all of them. And I mean all of them. They treat all non-black men like God. I'm gonna listen to this. Listen to this Keisha right here.
We have been bamboozled because them Chinese men are fine. I have been looking completely in the wrong place. Completely. I need to go and get on the dating app and change my preference to Asian men. Or do I have to go to China to get one that looks like the ones on this Redno app? Because y'all men are fine. I always thought they were short. They tall. They go to the gym. They face card be eating. And they not small. From at least what I've been seeing, they are not small. I think I've been looking in the wrong places. We have absolutely been bamboozled. It's like somebody just pulled the wool from in front of my face.
Black man, they don't talk about you like this. Y'all know that. They don't show that level of excitement for you. Y'all know that. You just gonna take that? You cool with that, huh? Yeah.
Because they're fine. I'm enjoying this Redno app. I'm enjoying this, honey. Y'all keep going on and give me your smolder.
Ain't that crazy? And ironically, this hair belongs to an Asian woman.
Faces, because their faces are smoldering and the face cards are eating. And from what I'm hearing, the voices are deep.
What? So yeah, they're trying to force that plantation loving. She want to give that plantation cooter to a Lee, to a Enrique, to a Brad, to whoever will take it. They got plantation tizzy tours for sale. Well, not for sale, for free. And a lot of times that's their other way of trying to get to their seed too. They don't care that they're looked at as a fetish. I hear a lot of people, talk about that. Or they'll say that to the black women themselves. Like, hey, sister, they just look at you as a fetish. That's exactly what they want. That's the energy that they want. Fetish. Okay, so you're saying he wants to have sex with me, right? I'm cool with that. Okay, might even get a baby out of it. So when not even that works, black man, what are you doing? Don't you understand? At a certain point, you're looking foolish. You're looking like you can't accept reality. And at a certain point, you gotta give up. Tell yourself, accept the fact, your women are gone. You've lost them. They're no longer your women. And that's your reality. You don't have a group of women the same way other groups of men have a group of women. Right? Your counterpart are not to you what other women are to their counterpart. That's just our reality. It's rough. It's, and all of that, but it is what it is. It's better you do that than keep fighting, thinking you can get through to them and all this type of, oh, sister, they hate you. they gonna kill you. Don't do it, sister. They just see you as a fetish, sister. Okay, you turning them on, telling them all that. Now what? Your best attempts at getting them excited. Now what? Man, this is sincere. I hate to be the bearer of bad news with this type of information, but this is what it is, man. This is what it is. This is beyond betrayal. I get it. It is beyond being stabbed in the back. I get it. Looking at everything that we've been through, everything that Brad has put them through, their great grandparents through. Okay, but they just don't value their history the way you do. They don't have the type of connection with their spiritual side like you do. You even heard Jesse Lee Peterson, and I agree with him on this, that when there's no father in the home, then there's no spiritual head in the home. And I've been saying this forever. Black men are more spiritual than black women. Black women are more emotional, and that gets mistaken for spiritual. They get in church, start hooping and hollering, but that ain't being spiritual. You know, doing backflips, you fall on the floor, start shaking. That's not spiritual. They don't have the type of mind that black men have. And this is how it was in the 70s. All that pro-black, black power, that was a black male thing. Why do you think it was only black men who ceased trying to look like white people? That's an obvious example, if you ask me. And we completely gave that up. We completely stopped doing that. And they're doing it to this day. Like I said, you put bundles on sale for, say, like 10% of their... Are you crazy? Especially if they're giving away for free. Just look up some of those beauty supply store grand opening specials and all this kind of stuff, or closing specials. Man, them keishas be out there in droves, in armies. They'll drive from out of town, be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. They value other men. It's other men who touch their soul. It's other men who excite them. It's non-blackness that excites them. These FBA podcasters are following a grift. It's all a grift. They know that FBA sisters, that is dead. And they get off on ignoring it. Most of their audience is black men. There's a few black women who tune in, but they don't feel none of that. They're just looking for entertainment. They don't process information like us. And they're not as receptive to threats as we are. That's why you always see them getting unalived, beaten up by some racist brads who you know racist soon as you lay eyes on them. Yeah. Man, please. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be attractive unless you're a black man. If you're a black man, you have to be this, you have to be that, attractive, tall, good teeth, six pack. But if you're not black, you can just be not black. Not being black is seen by them as a come up. That's a come up to them. Okay? Nothing else is required. It's like an automatic benefit. And yeah, how is a truly prideful black man supposed to be okay with that? So in a way, they turned the whole FBA movement into a ratchet pookie movement. With where the men have to be ratchet themselves, and they're going after a bunch of Brad worshiping hood ratchet chicks with a bunch of kids by a bunch of different men who smack them around and dog them out nonstop and emasculate them. And remember, most of these FBA podcasters, they're not dealing with that. And they don't even have a black woman. They're not dealing with that Keisha energy. So I'll leave it there.